ECOWAS Radio, voice of the economic community of West African states. ECOWAS Radio, your partner for peace and development. ECOWAS Radio, voice of the economic community of West African states. ECOWAS Radio, your partner for peace and development.
Good morning. Good morning. It's a pleasant day today. It's Thursday, August the 19th, 2021. That's the year we are, and that's the month we are in right now. And you are in tune to the program Integrated Watch. It's a 1-hour radio program, but brought to you by Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia. It runs from 11 to 2 and is aired every Thursday on ECOWAS Radio 91.5 FM. So it is the primary radio-based communication and information dissemination platform of the Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia. The program is aired every Thursday, like we said, from 11 to 12, and is relayed on the following: Prime FM in Monrovia, Bomi FM in Tubmanburg, Bomi County, Radio Kagima in Ganta County, Radio Bezon and Magic FM in Buchanan, Grand Bassa County, Radio Banga and Parkley in Bangabong County. The program is relayed in almost 6 counties already, and different radio stations are currently relaying this broadcast. The advocacy tool that provides essential information to fight against corruption, national interests, as well as promotes the culture of accountability, integrity, and evidence-based decision sectors of Liberia. Under an anti-corruption program funded by the government and people of Swedish International Development Corporation Agency, or SIDA, the radio program serves as an engagement, advocacy coordination platform that and other stakeholder support for the fight against bad governance. As part of this program, established the Advocacy and Legal Advice Center known as ALAC. The ALAC is an independent platform that enables citizens to freely report, seek redress, corruption, and other integrity-related issues within their communities and places of work. So we encourage our citizens to report corruption and integrity-related matters to our ALAC via the following means. We have the email address, the link, we have the short code that both GSM can call free of charge. Well, there is that you can just walk in, just opposite the John F. Kennedy Medical Center, upstairs building, just climb upstairs, just on the first floor, and ask for Central. You're going to be welcomed, and redress going to be provided. Whatever complaints you carry, that you find redress to them. We also provide legal advice to people who come in contact with us. If you legal advice when they need, we'll provide have people to access information. So if you want to have access to information, pieces of information, you can tell our ALAC team, and then we can help you to access information. So there are a lot of services that we render at the Center for Transparency and Accountability. All of these are geared toward all of us joining hands collaboratively fighting corruption in Liberia. So the Integrated Watch radio program is an informative, educative, and very, very fascinating platform with zero tolerance on the use of invectives and other denigrating comments. Today is Thursday, August 19, 2021, and this edition is playing host to the Executive Director of Naymote Partners for Democratic Development. He's Eddie D. Jarwolo. Mr. Jarwolo accepted our invitation. Mr. Jarwolo accepted our invitation to appear live this morning on our program to talk about the work of Naymote, what has Naymote done over the period, and firstly he will talk about the purpose of the trip out of Liberia, and then he's going to weigh in on a wide range of governance and accountability issues in Liberia, the government's fight against corruption, and all of those we're going to have that discussion coming up very shortly. But before we get started, we want to go to starter. Under little things that matter, we want to speak to and to congratulate. So under this, we have governance and accountability. So under governance and accountability, we want to congratulate the new executive chairperson of the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission, Councillor Edwin Clark Martin, on his stance so far against corruption and the fight against corruption in Liberia. We want to tell you, Councillor, we admire your zest and zealousness that you brought so far to the fight against corruption and the commitment you've made to prosecute the over 70 cases that you met on the docket at LACC, investigate and prosecute them. So we say thank you. We appreciate much, and we want to say that these are that we are looking for. These are the kinds of commitments that we're looking out to see, that people will come with these kind of zests and zealousness to fight corruption and make our country free of corruption. However, Councillor, we want this to be done freely and fairly. We want it to be done fairly, that everyone will be treated equally before the law. So all those who are accused, let them find their days in court to exonerate or be convicted of the accusation against them. We want this to be equally and fairly. There be no semblance along the way of the execution of your duties that people will see any kind of selective justice or any signs of compromise along the way. We want to encourage you to kindly do this and do it very fairly and do it in conformity with the laws of our land. We say thank you. We actually admire your commitment, and we urge you to kindly do that in conformity with the laws of our land. And we also want to encourage Councillor to rather have concrete actions taken. We will rather prefer you working more and talking less. Work more and talk less. Let us see concrete actions taken. When you take those actions in the interest of the people of Liberia and in the interest of the fight against corruption, we're going to laud you even more. We don't want you to be so fast right now. All commitments and talking. We would rather want to see concrete action against corruption, because we know and we don't want warning in our cautious are coming, based on experience. We had the experience before. The asset recovery and restitution team, they came up, they were constituted, they made a lot of promises. 4 billion Liberian taxpayers' money are going to be retrieved. And I mean, there were a lot of assets that they would have retrieved. And we were so excited to have heard all of those and all of the press conferences, the talk shows and everything. At the end of the day, you and I know the rest of the story. The Asset Recovery and Restitution Committee of the Asset Recovery and Restitution team, you know what happened to the story. The lender Councillor Simas Sarinas, and his booty can tell us best what happened along the way. So, Councillor Martin, please take note and talk more. Well, not talk more, but walk more and talk less. Concrete actions is what we want to see and what we want to see against the fight against corruption in Liberia, and not the usual talking, big talk, big promises. Please make sure that you talk less and work more. That's what we want to see. Again, congratulations congratulations on your preferment. Congratulations. We wish you all of the best against corruption. Also, we want to call on the government of Liberia. All of these commitments that are being made by the new executive chairperson of the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission cannot be achieved if the government does not provide the necessary support, financial, whatever support they may need to execute their mandate. Integrated institutions are struggling for resources and support to execute their mandates, and individuals are dispersing and distributing conscious resources among themselves with disregard to any form of accountability, and we look at them and we hail for that. Our integrated institutions that are supposed to be fighting corruption and making sure that people account for resources that are given to their custody, they are struggling. They cannot easily find means to execute their mandate into the full years. Institutions like the GAC, the law provides that the GAC is supposed to have its budget for a particular period. The crafter of the laws, they were very, very meticulous in crafting those laws with the intent, with the very clear intent that the control of the budget, or those who control the budget of the GAC and those integrated institutions, there are ways to manipulate them easily with control of their budget. But if they have control over their own budget within a period of time, they can be able to execute their mandate without fear or favor. But as it is now, they have to go and knocking at the doors of the Ministry of Finance to execute their work, their mandate, and investigators cannot be assigned in counties. They are subjected to just being around here. Auditors cannot go into the counties to do their work, and all of these things are happening. And we are seeing our state actors are distributing resources without any form of accountability and transparency. So we want to say thank you, Your Excellency and the government, all those concerned. Let us ensure that we support integrated institutions and anti-graft institutions in Liberia so that our governance process can be very strong and move forward. Quickly, we want to talk about just in passing the Ministry of Transport and Ministry of Health. There are reports coming out that the people are receiving fake documents, health or birth certificates are being, people receiving fake birth certificates and fake driver's lessons and vehicle registration documents. All of these are happening because of the too many human interactions that are taking place at these ministries, the Ministry of Health, the Vital Statistics Bureau, which is responsible for the issuance of birth and death certificate, the Ministry of Transport, the Division of Vehicle Registration. People are just clustered to those places, and then you don't understand what they are doing. And these are all grounds for corruption. These syndicates need to be dispersed from these places so that people can go there and access documents freely and access legitimate documents. Thank you so much. We will take a break and get connected with our guests so that we roll our conversation as soon as possible. Let's take a break. our radio program brought to you by the Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia. It is aired every Thursday on ECOWAS 91.5 FM. So today we said Thursday, the 19th of August 2021. This edition we are playing host to the Executive Director of Naymote Partners for Democratic Development. He's Eddie D. Jarwolo. And we're trying to connect with our guests online so we can have this discussion. We're trying, while the technicians I try to get better with our guests. Let us just continue with things that matter. We were talking about the Ministry of Transport and the Ministry of Health. So we talk about, in passing, we talk about the issues that breeding corruption at these ministries. But the Ministry of Transport is responsible for a lot of different activities, but key amongst them are the vehicle registration and the issues of driver's lessons. So this makes these activities make the Ministry of Transport a revenue generating ministry of the government of Liberia. So drivers have to go to the ministry to access driver's lessons, and they will have to go there to be able to also register their vehicle drivers and vehicle owners. So when this happened, okay, we have Mr. Eddie Jarwolo on the line now. We want to see whether he can get us. Mr. Jarwolo, good morning.
Good morning, Sam. Good morning to everybody monitoring us this morning. Sorry, I'm new to this technology, so that's good.
Okay. All right. So welcome. You are live in Liberia and across the globe on Integrity TV. Welcome again.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you, and I monitor the wonderful work you guys doing. I'm proud of you all, and you guys are really adding value to the work of civil society in Liberia and the region. So thank you.
Okay, so where exactly are you right now?
Currently in Accra, Ghana. We'll be in Liberia next week. Yeah.
To begin with, let us know the purpose of your trip to Ghana. Can you tell us why are you in Ghana?
Yeah, we're trying to expand our program across the Mana region. A few months ago, I was in Freetown, Sierra Leone. 2 weeks ago, I was in Abuja, Nigeria, in Ghana currently. So I'm doing some professional work, attending different meetings and conferences, trying to build network and expand our work. In Abuja, we're talking more about the President Meter project and meeting other institutions in the Mana region, in the ECOWAS region, to see how we can develop a model that could be used to track the campaign promises of elected officials. In Accra, yesterday, we attended the Open Government Partnership, Open Parliamentarian Partnership Engagement. That's going to be a project where within the ECOWAS region, we're going to develop a program that can better track the working of members of parliament. Okay. So we have the Parliamentarian Network Africa that we're going to be part of, and we're going to do so. So a lot of things that go on in the region that we're part of.
Okay. So let's come to you, the work of Partners for Democratic Development here in Liberia. What's the latest from your decks in the projects that you are implementing apart from the regional one that you talked about?
Same, we're doing a lot of work. We're one of the civil society organizations like that focus mostly on democratic governance, doing a lot of work around youth political leadership, inclusion. We're doing a lot of work around young women political participation, local government. So it's a lot of work that we're doing that we have done over the past 8 years in Liberia. So currently our focus is on one, access to justice. So we're implementing access to justice program in Moribara in Bon County with support from Carter Center. We're doing a lot of work helping people to understand their fundamental rights and responsibility and how they can be able to access justice. We are also helping people to be able to use the alternative dispute resolution. We said we handle some civil cases and to be able to monitor the prison and the police. We have a team where we are working in 120 communities across the 2 counties. We also have a program called the Young Women Mentorship Program supported by Young Women. So across the 15 counties, we have 125 young women who are doing a lot of work on trying to educate people on the importance of women participation and inclusion in governance and political processes. Then we do have a young political leadership school. This is our very top-notch program. So our young political leadership South Africa 2016 to see how young people who are the majority in terms of the voting population can be able to use their skills and knowledge and number to influence the way political decisions are made, looking at political integrity, looking at electoral integrity. So over the years, we are trained like our 630 presidents from across ECOWAS region. In October, we'll be hosting our 8th semester. We'll be bringing together 100 young people from 21 African countries. And with the Vice President of Savalian, we deliver the keynote address. We have the British ambassador, the US ambassador, will all be speaking on the program. We're bringing a lot of international facilitator. The Young Political Leadership School is made in Liberia. There's no schools in Africa that are teaching people about campaign planning, campaign management, electoral process, and this and that. So we thought to do this, that young people will go to election, understand exactly what is they need to do there. Elections are about the competition of ideas. It should be more issue-based. It should be about issues that you can compete and win. Tell people that you can do it. And when people are elected, they are under obligation as a social contract between the elected and the electors to ensure that those promises that you made can deliver. And that's why the political accountability comes in. That's why you see my trip in Ghana and Nigeria is all focusing on political accountability. The President Meter project is currently implemented in 6 different countries in West Africa. The parliamentarian openness programs operated in few countries in West Africa. There's been research that the legislature or the parliament across West Africa is a closed system. It means that accountability is an issue. Everything is done behind closed door committee room. They lack accountability, but they are working for others to speak to us about what they say they're doing. There's a lot of working we do, and we're just happy that we can do this for our country because what would Africa be or what would Liberia be with all active civil society organization? And as we attend this regional meeting and speak about what we're doing, a lot of people from Nigeria, from Ghana, from Sierra Leone appreciate what we're doing in Liberia as civil society organization. There's like Eddie, we want to come and learn about what you guys doing in Liberia. So we'll do a lot. Just that we're not documenting, but we'll completely do a lot, and we'll go to the international conferences and share what we're doing. People really appreciate what we're doing in Liberia.
Do you feel appreciated with all of the work that you're doing? Do you feel appreciated here at home in Liberia by maybe your peers, civil society organizations, and your work mostly is reflected on the activities of governance? Are you being appreciated by those in governance?
I don't really care much about appreciation or Sam. What I really focus on is the dividend of my work, right? What is it that I've done over the past 18 years? Dedicated all my youthful time to a country that I thought so rich with all the resources, Sam. And up to now, our people cannot even have access to safe drinking water and electricity. Our people can't even have access to quality education. Our people can't even have access to better healthcare, only because of bad governance, which is an amazing link that we are dedicated all our time for. And we keep saying that it's not working. One political party will come and say they can do it. When they get there, they become the same old stuff. They recycle politicians. There's no vision. There's no internal democracy. There's a complete lack of accountability. So it's not about appreciation. It's about how our children will come and realize that we did this and our parents did this and this is benefit. Yeah, I've seen Center do a lot, pushing the integrity program, we're working. But when we come back, we'll see that it's not making the impact right now. But then our work is basically based on attitude, changing attitude, and changing mindset, like Dr. Bobla would say. Our work is not building schools, it's not building road that you see, right? Our work is the attitude of people to get it done. So we expect that at this time, people will go to election, they will vote based on issues, competence, and qualification, not based on money. We expect that people will be able to respect the rule of law. We expect that people that are in government, whether ministers or representatives, will be accountable to the people. That being elected don't make you supernatural that nobody can hold you accountable. The level of intolerance in the society, you're not free to say what you want to say. Few people think when they're in power, they law and gospel to themselves. So these are the issues we should fight about, not too much of appreciation. That when young people go to schools and they spend their time to learn and be educated, they have the right to work in government with all paying member of political parties. You know, that when you sick and go to hospital, you can have access to quality health care. That certain people will not use our taxpayer money to fly in foreign countries for education. But majority of the people voted for the Canadian access to medicine. That when the people vote for you, you will look at the budget and invest into education, because education is the best thing to do. That you will not take a chance in the private school, the government school be empty and nothing, and nobody say anything about these things. These are the issues that will concern, bro.
Okay, Mr. Jarwolo, it brings me to my next point about your fair assessment of the government led by His Excellency George Manuel Weah's, the CDC-led government's commitment to governance so far. Governance in terms of the rule of law, in terms of freedom and all of those things. What do you make of the CDC-led government 3 years on?
So we're currently tracking the promises of President Weah and the CDC government using the manifestos, using those promises he made during his campaign speeches, doing those promises he made when he took over office. Up to January 2020, we had tracked 113 promises. Of that 113 promises, 9 promises were completed, which constituted 8%. And we have other promises ongoing. So actually, when you look at the promises ongoing, the promises completed, President Weah government have gone around 48 to 50% action toward these promises. But the recently, President Weah started making the country tour, he made additional almost 45 promises that we are still tracking to see what are these promises have started. We don't have much to say about such. Then we also realized that there are a lot of work the government has said we're going to do around accountability. And how are you talking about those? But then actually practicalizing or implementing those promises within the sector of accountability is not really yielding anything. Take, for example, the issue of the Water and Sewer Corporation with what the president suspended the managing and development and say he gave the GSC 30 days to investigate. It's been more than 65 days. There's nothing, just for the government to say this, there's nothing. In the asking of the audit report, you are now telling them now to leave the country. We see the issue about the MPA. They can already left the country and say that he have all the information going to get because there are a lot of things happening. So the president had to be very, very serious to fight corruption. The expectation of Liberian, the voter president we have got, what a vote that people thought he was going to be the redeemer of this generation. He's going to be the redeemer of a society that has been depleted by corrupt people, that he will go to come as a native grassrooter with a change of hope. That when you're driving around and people say the country giant is coming, that the country wanted that giant to redeem them. Today, the country is still the same. Less than 12% of our people have access to safe drinking water, electricity. Our school system is so it's so frustrating. Teachers are not taking pay on time. The health system are broken down. They are not working the way it's supposed to work. Currently, we are doing our government perception survey. So hopefully by next month, we'll be releasing a report on how people around the country, we targeted almost 3,000 registered voters in 43 electoral districts. Our report will give a fair perception about how citizens think about the way the country is moving forward. But my general perception from where I sit as a social activist, President Weah has so much to do. And I think the government should be able to manage the expectation of people. Don't keep pushing people that everything is good when things are not working the way it's supposed to be looking. Young people can't get job. There's no job. There's no food. There's no access to safe drinking water. There's no access to safe, to constant electricity. You can live in a country at this age and time when people live the type of life they live right in most of other countries. And I think President will get a lot to do. But then what alternative? The opposition are the same. We have a legislature dominated by opposition who are not doing anything, and they say the government not doing nothing when they also part of the government.
Mr. Jarwolo, I want to bring you to this point. In January 2018, this was what President Weah said. It is my belief that the most effective way to directly impact the poor and to narrow the gap between the rich and the poor is to ensure that public resources do not end up in the pockets of government officials. Are we seeing the gap being narrowed?
He said public resources will not do what?
They will not end up in the pockets of government officials. Are we seeing the gap being narrowed between the rich and the poor 3 years now?
No, Sam. And the issue there is that President Weah said the public resources will not end up in the pocket of the people, but will end up in a bank account. So it's a different thing. But I think sincerely, President Weah has so much work to do. To tell you the truth, President Weah is the face of a generation. President Weah's success is a success of a generation. President Weah's success is a success for the indigenous Liberian. And President Weah is under obligation to lead or to live. It's a lot of work to do. It's not the rhetorics that when you come to election, you have people writing and go to you and say it, and when you come to power, you can't implement it. This country needs a real change. That change for hope that President Weah and the CDC talk about, they have to deliver. People need to have access to safe drinking water. People need to have access to quality education, quality health care. People need to be safe, security. People need to live in a country and feel proud that they are Liberian. And it's under the government of President Weah to deliver on this thing. President Weah will not rest until he can start to do those things that he promised the Liberian people to do. And to do that, you need to get the right people on the team to get it right done. We cannot get somebody sitting at the Liberia Water and Sewer Corporation that should be helping to generate resources, mismanaging, and getting paid as staff for months. And you say nothing about that. You cannot have people sit down to LEC, Liberia Electricity Corporation, and you say Monrovia Electricity Corporation, for almost 4 years, and the people cannot have access to stable electricity. Then you go to a county and put 25 or 100 solar light, and people jubilating, and you feel you have done something. No, you can't even have a country with all street light. The national budget for the country is peanuts. 500 million, 600 million is nothing to develop Liberia. But those institutions that will be generating revenue are not managed by good people with innovation and creativity. That's where the issue coming from. You can't sit down to water and say, not giving money, not going to be them much. Those institutions are contributing to the national budget are not contributing much because the level of corruption and mismanagement in the public sector. I didn't put my laptop on charge. Yeah. Yes, Sam. Are you there? I have to get my laptop on charge, please. Hello?
Welcome back.
Yeah, sorry again. Hello? You getting me? Hello? Hello?
in 6 counties. So we are back on the line with Mr. Eddie D. Jarwolo. He's the Executive Director of Naymote Partner for Democratic Development. He's there in Accra, Ghana. Mr. Jarwolo, welcome back to the program Integrity Watch.
Thank you, Sam. I hope you got me while I was speaking.
Yeah, the latter part of your comments, you can just continue from where you stopped when we went off.
So I was actually saying that President Weah and the CDC government are under obligation to deliver on the promises they made. President Weah need to ensure that the transformation of Liberia begin with him as a generation or change maker. President Weah represents a generation. If President Weah do the right thing, our generation will be proud that a native indigenous Liberian stood up and make a difference from the President Weah also, the older generation will feel that they can do better. And I really think that the younger generation should be able to have the opportunity to make a difference. So President Weah is under pressure and obligation to deliver, and no rhetoric. To do that, you need to get the best people in the team. You need to make sure that those institutions that are responsible to generate revenue to ensure that mismanagement of public funds under control should be highly supported. President Weah had to speak to the Liberian people, not to be silent. President Weah had to ensure that he visit public institutions. President Weah need to ensure that every ministry and agency that collect taxes or that collect taxpayer money through budgetary allocation make annual report. Same, there's no ministry, no government institution that are producing annual report. It's not possible. You can't run a country where there's no report from the executive, from all the responsible institutions, no annual report from the judiciary, no annual report from the legislature. It's a complete disappointment. Complete disappointment. We need annual report, and that's going to be one of my campaign. We need annual report to be published on each government ministry website that we go to and see what the government doing. The second time for President Weah government is that the government propaganda machine is weak.
Okay.
The information sharing from government to the people weak. The government is run on Facebook. So the president spent all the resources going to visit the various counties. We are now seeing a report about how much money was spent, where the money came from, what is it that was discussed, what was agreed upon. We need a report. The president said that he said the executive budget. The president speak to the prime minister, gave $100,000 to people who got killed from this vessel. What are all the money coming from? Was that money allocated in the budget? Is the money coming from the executive president office? Where the money coming from? Accountability tie into transparency and information sharing. And until the government can do that, people will not actually know what they're doing.
Okay, Mr. Jarwolo, we are in civil society and we are working from different angles. You are into governance and Sintar, and others are into others are into different sectors in education and all of that. How can we as civil society, be more robust, if not, to ensure that we demand for all of these things for accountability and good governance of our country?
I want to try to a little bit. Just repeat.
So I was saying, Naymote is into governance and other, and including accountability issues. Center is directly into accountability and also governance. And other civil society organizations, they are into education and different sectors. How can we, as civil society, work together to demand that all of these things that we are looking forward to seeing, to demand that they happen in the governance of our country?
What we need to do, Sam, is to keep creating awareness. And I'm happy that civil society with networking, Center, accountability, like Nemo and RS have been coming together, issuing John's statement on issues that go advance good governance and democracy. We see other civil society groups doing a lot of work around land rights, local governments. I mean, a lot. And all that we're doing, Sam, we're not political party, is to help the government to succeed. The government has to see us as partners. Same president, we are going to go to office. He had meeting with political party. He had never had meeting with civil society. We're not enemy. We are buttressing the work of the government. I personally use my institution money. We're going to be there almost around $5 million Liberian dollars of our project money to the fight against the coronavirus. We have personally used our money to simplify the local government act, develop it into booklet and distribute it across the country. All those things are to help the government. We are pushing the government to deliver on campaign promises. In that way, we are helping the president to see that those promises that he made, he need to know that he made a promise to work. Those responsible institutions like health, education, the president should look at them and say, these are the promises we made and put money in the budget for it. We as civil society, we're working along with the pillars, the different pillars, the pillar on peace and security, the pillar on governance and transparency. We are working as partners to but the government not realize. The government say civil society are just a bunch of people getting together to demand so much. No, the government, we are there to help you. We are not a political party. We're there to tell you these are the issues you're supposed to do, and this is what we need to do as a team. So I appreciate our civil society working together or through the civil society council, through the different sector networking. And one thing that the government should not underestimate, civil society are more capacitated. Civil society now are more capacitated than many ministries and agencies. We are school, we have learned a lot, we have the experience, we can do a lot. We can do the budget analysis, we can do a lot of things that the government can work with us in that partnership to get it done. So yeah, we got to keep working and hold the government. If the government can listen, we'll keep creating awareness so people can make decisions on what is the government supposed to do in the government, and people will make the decision. We saw what happened December 8th. All the candidates the government put out, how many won? I mean, very limited. But then what happened? The opposition that put all the candidates and said all the good things had gone to do the same old thing people complain about. What is it that the opposition doing different from the legislature? No accountability, no transparency. It's a very close space. Everything is done in committee room. They don't even participate in the way decisions are made. They the pass on the first stone something. How many meetings were held with civil society? How many meetings were held with Liberian to make an input in that? But he passed it. Few people sit together and pass a law that will impact the level so many people to first stone. We see what happened with the ATM terminal. Few people get together to ask questions so that you can get the input of other professional people on board. So if the legislature and the government realize that clinicians, they are good people, they are smart people, they are qualified, experienced people in civil society that we can bring on board to be able to learn from them how to get some work done, and we'll be into its inclusion of decision-making processes, the youth, the women, the people participating in civil society, the government will go far. The government will actually go far. And the government should appreciate that civil society is a partner. We're not enemy, we're not opposition to the government.
Okay, you are listening to the program Integrity Watch, the 1 hour radio program brought to you by the Center of Transparency and Accountability in Liberia. Ed Thursday on ECOWAS Radio. So, want to solicit your view on our discussions today. We are in discussion with the Executive Director of Enable Partners for Democratic Movement. He is there in Accra, Ghana, and we are talking online. So, the number to call to participate on the program is 0779 000691. Been listening to Eddie Jarwolo. If you have a comment to make, you can call 0779 000691. 0779 000691. That's 0779 000691. That's the number to call to be live on this program entitled Watch. And he's been giving his fair analysis of the CDC, like government, in terms of governance and accountability. He talked about the different promises. 113 promises were made by President Weah. 8 of those promises were fulfilled, and the rest and additional promises were made. About 45 new promises were made by the president during his recent country tour. He's talking about accountability issues, about monies that are being spent by the president, where the budget line for those money that he's spending, and all of those things that have been happening without accountability. The ban were placed on individuals who were allegedly involved into corruption, or most of the individuals, 2 of them so far, they are alleged out of the country, and they are even talking about putting out additional documents that that they will be able to exonerate themselves from the allegations against them. What's your view? What do you think about the comments made by our guest this program? The number to call to live on the program is 077 0779 0000691. That's the number to call to be live on the program. We have a caller on the line. Good morning, caller. Good morning, caller. Good morning. Please lower the volume of your radio and let's. Emmanuel Johnson. Okay. All right, Mr. Jarwolo, I don't know whether you heard Emmanuel Johnson. Emmanuel Johnson.
No,
he said, according to him, the government and people died in fire incident, and the president decided to give people money and leaving out the other people without accountability for the source of the money and all of that. That's why Emmanuel Johnson is saying that was his point. So the number to call will be live on the program 077 0000691 0779 000, that is 0000691. That's the number to call to be on the program. And we are having as our guest the executive director of Naymote Partners for Democratic Development. They are involved with democratic issues. Okay, Mr. Jarwolo, let's hear. Maybe you wanted to stress some points to further about the caller's point.
Yes, so I'm not really pick up what you're saying, but Sam, the problem that government is working for us, right? So the missing link into the way we are as a country is based on the way we manage our resources. Citizen participation has been very poor. So we have a disaster management sector in the country where budgetary allocation should be here to help. So I was just saying the money President we are decided to give, can that money go through the disaster management office, or we just need to have a system in place that at the end of the day, you are told the Minister of Finance to you $100,000. Where is the money coming from? Is that money that in the president budget? Is that money that education budget? Is that money that is coming from healthcare? Are you taking the money from the youth? That's what we want. Because the opening just going to say, make sure you get $100,000 from the center. On what budget line is that money coming from? That's what we're saying. We're not saying don't do it, but let's set up a system. At the end of the day, we don't want to foreign minister say, the last time we had to go to the central bank to take $100,000 and use it because the president said it. We want to know where the money coming from. That's all we're saying.
Mr. The president made a commitment. According to him, the overwhelming mandate he received from the people of Liberia was to end corruption in Liberia. With integrated institutions struggling with for financial support to execute their mandate, are we matching our words? Is the president matching his words with the deeds? So far, what have you seen?
I had a chance to talk with a former, the late Auditor General, and I know how frustrated she was before she died. The number of audit reports that have indicted county officials up to national level government officials on the issue of mismanagement of public funds, including December 2020 audit report on the usage of money for COVID-19. There is somewhat $1 million. All the report at the legislature, there's no action taken, nothing, no action taken. We saw the situation with the recent NPA, the port manager from Pequeno, from Grand Bazaar.
Yeah.
Nothing happening. We saw the situation at water and say, well, nothing happening. So when will the government take lead on actually pushing accountability? We see the issue with MTA, and these are institutions that should be generating revenue for the country. Now we're talking about the airport. Now we heard that the bishop from the airport was based on corruption. So I don't know where the government, what president, where is actually fighting the government. It's not about the law, but the practical thing you're going to do to get this thing done is what we're looking for. And you're right. The integrated institution that was set up and given position that you be protected need money to get our work done. The LACC need money to get our work done. The RACC send money inside there. Whether they are even appointed for somebody there, or they say acting position. If the institution cannot be given the support to get our work done, then what is it that we're saying to fight corruption? And so it will start to fight corruption and do it in a way that people will start getting afraid to just take money and use it. The resources of the country will be increased, and the government can use that money to do a lot of work around basic social services, and people will start to love the government and to love the president. How possible will we be saying that one board manager will transfer 300,000 in this country, and no a lot of person leave the country?
All right, so we'll just leave it at that, Mr. Jarwolo, because Tom is not our friend. Tom has cut off with us, so we just want to say, just in 1 second, just your parting comment quickly, sir.
Yes, Sam, I want to say thank you so much for the work you're doing, and your institution, Center, have made us proud as civil society organization that we can do better. We want to call on the government and know that as civil society, we are not enemy to the government. We just there to buttress the word of the government. We need to collaborate to get the country moving forward. At this age, for 174 years, we cannot allow people to live the type of life they live. The country is still already centralized. The lack of basic social services to the life of people. I mean, it's no job. It's so terrible that President Weah should not even be able to sleep. If you really care about elaborate people to get the country moving forward. We have less than 25 hours.
We'll leave it at that because time has cut off us. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation to be live on this program, Integrated Watch. So you've been listening to the program, Integrated Watch, the 1-hour radio program brought to you by the Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia. It's every Thursday on ECOWAS Radio. My name is Sam Zuta. I'm the Media and Communications Officer at the Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia. Call the number 4432 to contact our ALAC. Call the number 443 contact our ALAC. It's toll free. My colleague Mark Bonda has been behind the camera, making sure our visibility goes beyond the studio. He connected us with Mr. Jarwolo for us to have this program. Goodbyes. Join us next Thursday for another edition. Bye-bye.